How are you today? That's good to know. Well, it's always, great to see this developer audience, increasing every year. Ever since the inception of this great India Developer Summit, I think it started off in 2008, if I'm not wrong. Maybe someone can correct me. So we sponsored that event, where we have seen 3,000 developers. Astonishing. And when I sent these numbers to my team in, US and sharing with the management, they were like shocked to see, is it really possible this kind of developers really turn out? Well, that's really happening. Then last year, of course, we had our own event. I don't know if any one of you have attended this Forum Nokia Developer Summit that happened in December and January. So are you aware of that? That we do have our own Forum Nokia Developer Summit? Okay, never mind. So we have a regular event that happens every year. But of course, that doesn't mean that we do not participate in other events. So our goal is to ensure that we reach out to the developers and make sure that they are developing some cool applications. End of the day, they are making money. So that's what we really like to do. So today, I'd like to share with you how you can start developing applications for Indian market, how you can position some of these local relevant content globally. So that's exactly I have in mind, and also what we will provide to you, from our side to the developers. So there are different aspects that we need to look into it, because you have to be successful. End of the day, for us to make money as well. So your success is our success. Let's put it that way. So one thing that I would like you to take a good look at is technology evolution has transformed mobile devices. What does it mean? Maybe 15 years back, when we had the mobile devices, they were used for basic communication services, just for making voice calls. Maybe later on, the SMS came into existence. People are using, sort of like a peer-to-peer text messaging was used. But it has evolved over a period of time. So what changes happened? What is that key thing that led to this sort of evolution? The key is the convergence. Convergence of technologies has happened at many different layers. It's not just at the device layer, it happened at the network layer, it happened at the service layer. So all put together has given sort of a chance to provide more compelling services, allowed the users to get connected, not just with the service that is available in the mobile phones, but also to the internet. So what you can say is, today we do not have any restrictions. So we are more or less in a sort of like a fixed mobile convergence domain. So we do not differentiate between an internet service or a mobile service. So we are all connected in a manner that we want to give that unified experience to the end users. So that's the reason why today you can see that these are very powerful smartphones having a lot of features, not just the applications itself, but you have these high-end cameras, you have GPS, a lot of things where you can utilize all these things to build very compelling applications and provide to the end users. So when I say convergence, though it looks as a simple term, but there's a lot of things coming along with that. Like I said, like the network convergence, service convergence, it should happen at every layer. So we have this. So then what does it mean over a period of time? So currently the existing voice providers, what they have been doing is providing very basic services like ringtones, wallpapers, games. So this is something we have seen in the past, right? And with this convergence happening over a period of time, it led to a disruptive change where people started looking at how do I provide that user experience. It's a lot about the user experience. I mean, I'm sure a lot of talks in the morning or yesterday talked about these user experiences. So that's where it matters. So there was a paradigm shift that happened, and this led to where people started focusing on some of these new services which we have never heard before, where we could use it through the mobile phone, like the search, emails, maps, navigation. So all these things were possible. Having said that, do you think that it's going to be enough? Are we satisfying to the end user needs in the right way? Maybe the services that I talked about, the email, the navigational services, maybe, yes, we can satisfy the needs of a section of people, like some masses. But having said that, if you look at today's market, it's not just few segments. It's segmented, it's micro-segmented. So you need to cater to the needs of all these niche market segments as well. Because every user has got his own profiles, identities, and he's going to be behaving differently based on where he is. If he's at home, if he's using a mobile phone at the office, if he's using Wi-Fi, so he's going to sort of change these services how he uses. So the behavioral patterns change. and he needs to have the personalized services. So the point here is like, we need to really look from the individual perspective, like what exactly he is going to use it. And then you have to create those services. Like, so it's very important that you have to understand the pain points of these end users. So because when you have a pain point, that means that you are going to build a solution for that. That solution will come in the form of a service or application that you want to provide. So today, these environments and then these platforms will allow you to do that. So it's very important that we provide a user-centric model, not just that we like some services, we sort of launch this in the market, but we need to understand what exactly the user needs are, and based on these roles, profiles, and identities. So to do that, one thing is very important is like most of the times when we want to develop a service, we tend to think very big right from the beginning. Well, when I develop this service, is it going to really take up in the market? What's my volume? How can I sell this? A lot of questions will come. It's quite obvious, right? So because at the end of the day, a startup company or entrepreneur needs to look at all these different aspects, because you have to be successful. But the key is if you have to look from the Indian perspective, there's an example, what is that good thing that happened in India for the past 10 years or so, is that we have a huge subscriber base. Almost 500 million people are using the mobile phones, right? So what does it mean? That means you have a consumer base to service. So that means when you provide a service, even if 1% of that particular subscriber base using that service, that means you are really targeting millions of users out there. So that you need to think from that perspective. So yes, you have to be global, but think from the local perspective. What is required first? Then, today we do not have any boundaries, right? So a lot of Indians are living everywhere in the world, be it US, Australia, or UK, anywhere. So when you develop a service for a local market, where people like to use local content in a local language, or local entertainment stuff like Bollywood, cricket, you're not limiting that to Indian consumers alone, because you have these distribution platforms where it will provide the reach to the consumer, Indian consumers living outside India as well. So in one way, by thinking local, you are going global, or in the other ways, you are actually globalizing your service by providing a local service. So that's why I have sort of coined the term glocal. Maybe it's something that might have heard. So the Bollywood Hangama is a perfect example. We worked with these Hangama guys and we created this widget. It's a web runtime widget. So this basically was also provided by an operator in Canada, Bell Canada, for the subscribers, their subscribers, because there are a lot of Indians out there in Canada. So the thing is, operators are also changing their strategies now. Why? Because they need to, end of the day, not just provide these basic services or some of their own value-added services, but ensure that, how do they service this, those small segments, for example, the Indians, the Chinese, or some of these, services which are specific to the Islamic countries. So that's where it's happening. So we are really going global in this manner. And in similar fashion, we have this Rediff money, then India Today, which is, these are all downloaded in many parts of the world. So the key for this is, as I said, the developers are the most important stakeholders in the entire telecommunication ecosystem. We cannot possibly build these services ourselves. As a vendor or an operator cannot build them. So it is you who will be, sort of looking at these end user needs, identifying what they want, understanding their pain points, coming out with a solution idea, leveraging on the technologies, platforms that you have, and you have to build. And at the end of the day, it's not that Nokia likes this service or you like it, it's going to take up in the market. End of the day, the end user is the key. So he is the final decider whether the service is going to take up or not. So always keep yourself in the end user shoes, understand the pain points, and develop these services. So in order to do that, you may be coming and asking us, what are you guys doing to help? Yes, these are all fine. We understand there are, several segments, but what is that Nokia is doing, to simplify, to provide this? So what we are doing is we are looking into the 4 main aspects, here, simplifying the development, how do we sort of help you in expediting the development of your mobile application? Secondly, we're looking at how do we sort of help you in distributing this application. As I said in the past, in the last slide, even if you develop a local application, we can still take it to the global. But you need to have that sort of a distribution, platform available. So we provide you that sort of a thing, and creating differentiation. So if you have businesses where you want to leverage on some of the OV services, for example, where you want to monitor how things are working, we can provide you something different from what the others are doing. And the fourth is basically to see that how do you bring the consumer awareness. Because having an application is not good enough, right? So you need to also see that how somebody is really looking at this application, and he should be able to make an attempt to download this application. So some promotional aspects, activities will be taken care as well. So we are looking at sort of a multi-dimensional view, multi-dimensional way, and so that would suffice to your needs to make sure that the end-to-end services are taken care. So what we are doing for that is this is basically to summarize our software story. So we have, of course, at the platform level, we have a portfolio of platforms like Series 30, Series 40, and Series. So then we also have Java and all, because this is why we have so many is because we have a legacy. We have to support so many devices, and we have devices for different price points, like all the way from a device ranging from 1,500 to somewhere like close to 25,000. So every device has its own requirements and own platforms, and we need to support all these different developers. So the people may be asking me most of the time, they say, why is that Nokia having so many platforms? As I said, we have a legacy, we have a history, we need to support all the users, all the developers. But having said that, we are also ensuring that we provide you, a very consistent way of developing. So we are providing more on new things like for example, the cross-platform framework, meaning that we have acquired this Toltec, which provides you the Qt cross-platform framework, which means that you develop an application using Qt, you can deploy it anywhere. So that's the thing, so you don't have to write the code for different platforms. So once you develop an application for Qt, you can so this is native coding, means that it gives you performance, it gives you multitasking, it gives you dynamic APIs. So that's the beauty of the Qt, and then we are supporting the web runtime over different platforms. So it's not just a typical mobile developer, but we are also looking at how we sort of attract the professional ISVs, then hobbies, stuff like that. So this is our developer proposition, what we are providing. If you develop an application using Qt, you can deploy it over desktop, Symbian, or MeeGo. MeeGo is basically unification or a blend of the MIMO, which is coming from Nokia, and then the Moblin, which is coming from the Intel. So I've teamed up together and created this MeeGo, which is an open source kind of a thing. If you are a Linux developer, please take a look at this MeeGo thing. So if you are developing a web application, yes, you can use the web runtime. You can, for any other applications, you can use Qt, which can be deployed across desktop, Symbian, and MeeGo. So that's basically what we have. So as I said, that MeeGo is again, we're working together with the Intel here. So you can deploy all the Qt applications here. So it's not an issue. It will even work on Symbian. So you can visit the website, you Google it, you can find a lot of information. And we are going to come out with some devices, MeeGo-based devices in 2010. Now let's take a look at what's our app store strategy. So we have actually launched our OV store in 180 countries and still counting. So a lot of this is the reach, what I'm saying, the distribution what we are providing. Unlike any other vendor or company, we have a reach of 180 countries. So OV, if you deploy an application or you publish an application in the OV store, literally you make this service available overnight, to 180 countries. So of course, if it depends on what sort of content you are providing and what user experience you are providing to these users. We all know that content is king, but distribution is King Kong. Agree? Yeah, so that is the key, because of course today we have to have content, and especially in the Indian context, people do not like, you download a game or an application, but you will not be using it on a regular basis. But content is very much, you use it, consume it on a daily basis. It's refreshed. You are reading at your, as a newspaper, like an article or anything, a magazine. So this keeps changing, so the content is very essential, And that's why we support 30 different languages. So that means that in India you can easily sort of like get the support of key languages. Likewise, there are other languages like the Chinese, Russian. They're all supported. So that's the reason our strength is the local, and that's your strength as well. Once you are developing an application, think from the local perspective, because we have all the platforms that are available to take advantage of. People say there are 2 billion people use the toothbrush, right? And if I have to make a comparison, there are like 1.3 billion people using the Nokia devices. So maybe they are using 2 times a day the toothbrush, but the people who are using the Nokia phone almost throughout the day. So that's the difference. We have base and we have stores which are spread out for you to monetize your content. Make sure that you have a compelling, innovative application. You can take it to the market, benefit out of it. And what is our distribution? Today we have 1.5 million downloads happening a day. 1.5 million, and it's keep on going on. That's 22 downloads per second, 24/7, means that close to 1,300. We have seen even cases where it's we happen like 1,300 downloads per minute, and every user has downloaded at least 12 times, in the entire this once he registered with the OV store. So that shows the enormity. Now the potential that you have when you develop an application. But again, it has to be compelling. It has to have a sound, use cases, stuff like that. And we are also having operator billing in 66 countries. We are 66 operators we are working with in 19 countries. So these are all where you can take benefit out. If you want to use credit card billing or operator billing, we have all those facilities available. So creating differentiation, as I said, we have this open platform approach. You can make use of all the APIs that we have, the applications. Then the store is something that you can benefit out. So we have for promotional aspects, we also have this OV Daily app where we do the blogging of the really cool applications. So you can benefit out of that. Once you sort of publish the content in the OV store, you can really sort of take advantages of all these promotional activities what we have. This is basically to raise the consumer awareness, because end of the day, when developer comes to me and says, I have deployed the application into the OV store, but nothing is happening. We need to make, from our side, all best possible efforts to ensure that this is reaching the right target audience. So in summary, what I'm saying is think global. Of course, you need to think local in order to be global as well. And think consumer. That's very important. And think Nokia, because why I say this is we are very strong in emerging markets, especially in India, and we have a OV store which is available in 180 countries. So it gives you a perfect platform to start developing an application and further distributing and monetizing it. So that's where we are. So and maybe we can create a next Silicon Valley in India. Who knows? Because as I said, we are in a global business. So maybe the next application, killer application, or maybe it would be coming from here in India. And it's already happening. It's already happening. A lot of application. And India has witnessed more downloads in the OV store. It's always in the top 5. Even though we do not have an operator billing today, but still a lot of consumers visit OV store and they're downloading this free content and so which shows that yes, when it comes to the base, there's no worry at all. So that's yeah. If I guess I'm on time. So actually, I was standing in for my boss, Srikanth. Raju was supposed to do this talk, but because of that volcanic ash and the cloud that's happening in Europe, he was not able to fly down. But I'm based here in Bangalore. I was earlier heading the Forum Nokia, India. Now I moved to a global role. So I'm currently handling all the developer programs. But you can always reach me if you need. If you need any clarification or any further consultation or support. So next is Bala would be talking about web runtime technologies. But we do have a booth, so you can talk to some of our colleagues out there, exchange your name card, and try to set up a slot with some of the local guys here, and discuss your business ideas. Then we could sort of start working. Yeah. So just basically, this is to give you an idea. I'm sure that I can't cover everything in the 20 minutes, but do come back to me if you really want to have a better understanding of any of those things like what I touched upon. I don't know if I have time for the questions, but I'm okay to take few if you one or two. Yeah, time up. Okay. So, but I'm out there, so you can always see me.